The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. Tommy O'Brien coming to you live from TFNN. Appreciate you kicking off your trading day right here with me, and we kick it off in positive territory in the S&Ps right now, up by 25 points or a third of percent, 69.28. NASDAQ 100, we kick it off by about 0.5%. We get back to a 5-minute chart. Little volatility to the downside on the open yesterday. Since then, higher prices. NASDAQ 100, we're up by 0.5%. Now we got NVIDIA earnings today, looming as the headlines say over this market. We'll talk about that coming up in the program. Dow up by 0.4%, 49,434, and the Russell right now up by 0.7% at 2675. Bitcoin up by almost a couple $1,000, up by 3%, trading at 66,445. Ethereum up by 6%, 1970. We're up almost $200 from where we were trading yesterday morning on Ethereum. Jump over some of those cryptos, right? Solana up by 7%. Ripple up by 4.5%. Crude trading right near $66. Crude up 34 pennies at 65.97. We jump over to yields. The 10-year right now, a little bit of lower price. And we're talking about a 10-year yield of about 4.06. Lower price, higher yield. We're approaching 4%. Right now, we're just off that level, approaching about 4.06. The yield on the 10-year. We jump over that dollar index. How's that for some volatility? You hit 98 almost on the dot, 98.002, right? From 97.65, we're pushing that price level yet again. Dollar coming up to that 98 price level. We'll see if we can break through it. That's been the area of resistance back in February 5th. Back there at the beginning or late last week. Yeah, Friday, Thursday, and Friday's acceleration. Dollar continuing to bump up against 98. You jump over to golds. Metals higher yet again. Gold up by $33 at 52.09 right now. You jump over to silver, up by $3.24. How's 91.35? Now we have a high out here from February 4th, folks. Okay, of 92.01. We're trading about 65 pennies away from that high. We just hit a high of 91.84. So right up against that level, that's where we are. And not a lot of volume at those highs right now. You got silver, 91.29. Talk about it, man. That's silver contract. You jump over the VIX volatility index right now, 1877, as this market continues higher. All right, we jump over to NVIDIA. So NVIDIA's higher in the pre-market. Pretty remarkable. 25 billion shares outstanding. So you're up by $2. This thing's adding $50 billion in market cap, just pre-market. Always remarkable, the size of this company. But yeah, it's a put up or shut up moment after hours. And not quite, but pressure is always on when you're dealing with this type of valuation. And we jump over that valuation, and we're talking about $4.7 trillion still at this level. You rang that $5 trillion bell back there in late October, and we've been in a consolidation. And you're talking about a consolidation, folks. August, September, October, November, December, January, February. 7 months. 7 months. NVIDIA has been chopping around between about 170 and 190. You got a little bit above there for a week or two back there in November. And let's jump over the headline. Yeah. AI-obsessed stock market, you better believe it, man. Whether you're talking about the software companies that are trading lower, whether you're talking about the hyperscalers, excuse me, and the CapEx. But when it comes to revenue, how about $65.9 billion in the fourth quarter? Looking for adjusted earnings of $1.53. And yeah, when you talk about what kind of a move this equity has had recently, not quite the volatility we had seen at some time going back years ago, right? You still have gotten some moves, but you got to go back a whole year ago to get a move in NVIDIA that was more than about 3.5%, right? The last three earnings events on NVIDIA, this thing moved 3.25%, 0.8%, and 3.1%. You back it up to a year ago, and that's when we dropped 8.5% on that number. And yeah, talking about a $4.7 trillion company, and how about a 68% rise in revenue? Imagine running a company that you're taking in $66 billion in 90 days, and you're growing that revenue at 68%. Earnings rising 72%. Gross margin. We should all aspire to run a company with these types of gross margins. Of course, the most profitable, biggest company in the world in the history of the universe. Adjusted gross margin anticipated to be 75%. So keep your eye on that one as well. The highest in more than a year, projected to stay around that level in the current fiscal year. And yeah, investors want reassurances that such profitability can be sustained amid rising prices for memory chips and other input costs. Guidance. What are they going to be looking for? Looking at about a 5% swing in either direction. You get that record close out there. But as I mentioned, you've been in a consolidation for about 7 months in NVIDIA, and we'll see if we're going to break out of that consolidation. We're $2 higher in the pre-market right now as this market catches a little bit of a bid, to put it lightly. All right, we jump around to other equities. We had Home Depot with their numbers yesterday. You gave up almost all the gains, right? Check this out on Home Depot. I guess not all of them, but you were trading at 380 the day before. You popped to 394, and we were trading as low as 382 coming into the close. Pretty close to marginal. But you get lows today, and not the case. So lows, yeah, they're trading lower. Their forecasted earnings below what the market was looking for. They're looking for earnings of about $12.25 to $12.75. The market was looking for almost $13. The housing macro remains pressured. We're focused on directing what is within our control, which includes our ongoing productivity initiatives. Doesn't sound very encouraging in terms of where you're going to grow. Productivity, I don't know. Jump over to some of the other home builders this morning. Particularly volatile recently. Lennar all the way down to 113 yesterday. We're trading right now flat at 116.55 for Lennar. Jump over to DR Horton. Trading about 163 right now. KB Homes. Trading about 64.50. All right, we jump to some retail. So check this one out. Kava. Yeah. They're doing pretty well. How about those earnings last night? So they beat on the top and the bottom line. They expect restaurants open at least a year are going to rise in terms of sales, 3 to 5% next year. Full year revenue, more than $1 billion for the first time. Take a look at daily. So this thing's going to open at 76. You're right in the middle of this gap, probably making a run for the top side of it. 82.23, the top of that gap hanging out there from last August. Now, Kava's trading higher. Not the case with Workday. It just keeps going. Okay, this thing has been under pressure recently, to put it lightly. I mean, look at this. You were at 247 in October. You're at 117. 117, my goodness. Whew. First quarter subscription revenues at $2.34 billion, just misses what the market was looking for. Okay. Disappointing operating margin estimates for the quarter. Yeah, they got some issues, man. Talk about getting pummeled, and then they come out with earnings, and there's no reprieve whatsoever. All right, folks, NVIDIA earnings after the bell. We got a lot to digest. State of the Union last night. S&P's up by 28. We'll come back, take a look at some equities, folks. Stay tuned. If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Morning Market Kickoff is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Welcome back, folks. We got the S&Ps up by 25 points right now. You jump over to Microsoft. You're positive by a couple dollars, trading at 391 from 389 right now. You jump over to Amazon shares. Quite the acceleration yesterday for Amazon. This morning, you're pushing almost 210, 209.76 for Amazon. You jump over to Google shares, trading at 312.12. So, in the race for AI, Anthropic. Yeah, Claude. Now, it's amazing. Got a couple articles up here. And this first one has to do with the Pentagon. Okay? And Anthropic, known for its devotion to safety, is scaling back that commitment. Now, this is pressure from the Pentagon. Okay? The company has until Friday to relax its usage policies, and it seems like they may have. Okay? It's locked into a battle with the Defense Department over how its Claude tools are used after it told Pentagon they could not be used for domestic surveillance or autonomous lethal activities. This one's got my radar. Yeah. In terms of, this seems like, in terms of reasonable safeguards, something we want to be watching. Because when you talk about AI, the two things that they didn't want AI doing without human interactions are killing people and surveilling Americans, okay? And the Defense Department doesn't want those limitations. They want Claude to have autonomous killing activities. That's what lethal means, okay? They should use killing. Makes it a little bit more descriptive. And they want it to be used for domestic surveillance in the same way. So, the truth always lies somewhere in between. It's going to be a tough, nuanced conversation that is never going to stop, folks. It's going to go on forever. The safeguards, what AI is able to do without any human interaction. And killing, autonomous killing, that's something that I'm cool with safeguards on. I'd love to hear the debate on why autonomous lethal activities are necessary for AI. So pay attention to that one, man. And then you look at something like this. So hackers used Claude to steal sensitive Mexican data. It is amazing what these tools are doing, folks. A hacker exploited Anthropic's AI chatbot to carry out a series of attacks against the Mexican government, resulting in theft of huge trove of sensitive tax and voter information. How about that? The unknown Claude user wrote Spanish language prompts for the chatbot to act as an elite hacker, find vulnerabilities in government networks, write computer scripts to exploit them, determine ways to automate data theft. Pretty remarkable. Yeah. The productivity of one person using some of these tools, folks, and that's why, you got these tools, and then you got these tools, and yeah, Defense Department, it's a different deal, man. But this activity just started in December. It was a month long, 150 gigabytes of data, documents related to almost 200 million taxpayer records, as well as voter records, government employee credentials, civil registry files. What did they not get, right? So, yeah, the sophistication of these tools. And, when you see the battle going on here with Anthropic and relaxing that AI tools are going to be able to kill people without human interaction, that one's a little worrisome. That story is going to persist, never going away. All right, we jump over to Warner Brothers Discovery. The battle's on. So they're saying that the latest Paramount offer may be a mover. Paramount, barely in the positive with the market. You're at 1050. This thing's had quite a sell-off from the euphoria when this run began. You jump over to Netflix shares, trading higher to $79. Always interesting, right? I'm not even sure. I don't think in the short term the market wants Netflix to get this because it's just so much money at this point. In the long term, yeah, it's probably a no-brainer. But they're not getting this money back tomorrow. No way, no how. They're going to finance it with debt. But Warner Brothers says Paramount's new $31 a share offer may top Netflix. Yeah, now Netflix was $27.75. Okay, so you're talking about $3.25 above that level, period. End of sentence. They probably have a little bit easier path getting it approved. If you even just don't even factor in that Ellison has a great relationship with this administration, it should be harder for the number one streamer to buy the number 3 streamer than anybody else when you talk about anti-competitive and what's going on. But yeah, $31 a share buyout offer. And that could lead to a better deal than the existing deal with Netflix, kicking off another potential round of bidding. So what's going to happen is that Netflix is going to get the opportunity to come back to this one. Okay? So you get a 7-day period. Paramount was allowed once again to negotiate. The two companies are still negotiating late into last night and had to hang up the phone at midnight when the discussion window expired. That left lingering questions. Imagine that, right? You're literally bumping up against a midnight deadline, and legally you have to hang up the phone at midnight because that's the end of your 7-day period you've been given per the contract. But the revised proposal marks an increase of $1 from where they were at $30, which was valued at $108 billion, including debt. So imagine that. The $30 offer was $108 billion. They're at $31 now. Netflix's proposal is valued at $82.7, but that believes that the spinoff of the cable channels goes on top of that. So no huge reaction this morning yet on that news, but that one ain't going away anytime soon. And that one's over at Bloomberg, and there's the headline over there in the Journal, the same one. Not their best and final, as they kept saying, and it looks like it wasn't. They're up to $31. All right, we check back in on the video right now. Trading higher by a couple bucks. We jump over to that gold contract. Let's take a look at the volume in gold. You almost can't overstate how little contract volume we got going on in the futures, folks. Okay, we're talking about over 2 weeks of action, and you cannot get above 200,000 contracts. I mean, check this out. You did almost 200,000 contracts for almost the entire month of January, right? Gold trades from 4,300 up to 5,600. That's how you do it, folks, right? Look at the volume run up. Since then, nothing, right? You pull back with volume, and we cannot catch a bid. Doesn't mean you can't trade this market, okay? You got silver rocking, but the volume's just not here. So keep those spikes up on your back. Silver, 91.12 right now on that silver contract. Jump over the XAU. Yeah, inching towards the highs of 458. Trading at 449. Jump over the HUI. Look at this, right within reach as well. All right, folks, we're going to be coming back for the open. We got some equities moving with their earnings. You got Kava. They're going to be up by about $10. How about Workday? Getting pummeled on their earnings with AI fears accelerating. This thing was just at 220. Oh, check this out, man. This equity is going to be cut in half. Imagine if you own Workday on margin, folks, okay, 50% margin, you just lost your entire investment in less than 2 months. That is not a risk that a lot of people saw materializing in that short a period of time. We're coming back, folks, for the opening bell.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Folks, we got equities open and we got markets in the green. It's NVIDIA earnings day. Hang on to your hats for that one after the bell, but we got markets positive, kicking it off. NASDAQ up by 0.7% right now, up 176 points, 25,206, and it's pretty remarkable, right? We talk about NVIDIA. So NVIDIA's been in a little bit of a consolidation we went over since about August. NASDAQ's been in a consolidation since about September, right? Chopping around. It's a 2,000-point range from 24 to 26,000, but we got a consolidation right now. And today, it's going to be an important one. For NVIDIA, $4.7 trillion company. Remember, look for those profit margins, 75% profit margins. Pretty remarkable. Jump over the ES, up by 36 points right now. The Dow up by 227. Look at this channel line the Dow's in since that April low. Dow's up by 0.5% right now, and you got the Russell up by 18 points. Checking on yields, down by 4 ticks at 113.03 right now. And let's check in on some of those equities that are moving on their numbers. Workday down by 7.7%, make it 8%, 119.54. You got Kava out with their numbers. There you go. Up by 18%. Lowe's following Home Depot numbers, down by 4.2% right now. Look at this one. GoDaddy. Yeah. Man, this company, I remember when they were first kicking off. Remember like 20 years ago when they were running Super Bowl ads to show up on the market? Their revenue, about $5.2 billion, but short of what the market was looking for. At about 5.28 is what they were looking for. And yeah, citing slow AI-related adoption is what they're talking about. But no matter what they're talking about, how about an ugly stock in this thing, man? Look at this. Oh, man. Look at this chart, folks. Let's back it up even further. My goodness. Look at this thing. Right back to where you were in 2018. Pretty remarkable. All right, jump over to Whirlpool. So Mr. David Tepper, he's got issues with the performance of this equity, and if you look at the chart, not difficult to understand why. Yeah, so Tepper sent a letter to Whirlpool's board accusing them of destroying shareholder value and calling for sweeping changes. And yeah, so they just came out with... Yeah, this was, so they had a secondary offering. Yeah, secondary share offering. And the thing cratered. You were at 84. You're trading at 71 right now. But the battle's on. 71.45 for Whirlpool right now. Boy, you got volume. Lows out here is 66. But the hedge fund managers are circling, and they want change. Rightfully so from what that stock looks like, man. Jump over to HP. All right, they were lower. Yeah, check this out, man. They're buying in on the open. Okay, so they're out with their numbers last night. They tempered expectations for results amid rising memory chip costs. They now expect fiscal year results to be closer to the low end. However, earnings and revenue for the latest quarter exceeded. It seems like the market's cool with that. Look at this acceleration. Back to where we were. All right, we'll check in on the hyperscalers. And the chip stocks, NVIDIA, up by $1.50 right now. Micron, there we go, up by 2.7%. Broadcom, 2.8% to the upside. Meta shares up by 0.7% right now. You jump over to Google, down by 0.1%. All right, you talk about AI. Everyone's looking to short these companies, right? Oracle gets the headline. I'm sure they appreciate that. Oracle plans to raise as much as $50 billion this year, but guess what? But yeah, whether it's NVIDIA, Oracle, and then you talk about the big tech companies, but you look at that one like Workday, man. Okay? Let's check out Salesforce. There's another one been particularly volatile recently. Salesforce down from 369. The beginning of the year, you were trading at 270. You're at 185. I'd encourage you to just realize, folks, the market can always move faster than you think, further than you think. Okay? And you're seeing that take place everywhere, man. This thing's on its way to 126. There's nothing getting in the way of it. Great company, but boy, are they under pressure right now. And same thing, you could have bought this thing on margin just over a year ago, and you lost your entire position, down 50% in just over a year for Salesforce. Remarkable acceleration. So let's talk a little bit of a yield and mortgage rates. So mortgage rates, yeah, we're somewhere near 6%, folks. Okay, that's where we are. You're going to see a couple of different numbers out there, but the average contract interest rate decreased to 6.09% from 6.17%. And applications to refinance a home increased 4% last week from the week before, and we're 150% higher. And you start getting into a 5 handle where people can then buy down their rate to somewhere around a 5% mortgage, whew, you could see a real meaningful impact in terms of the payment and the monthly payment and the affordability. The hot topic word of the day. And then they talk adjustable rates as well. And yeah, can't fault people for looking at that market. It's a riskier market when you're adjusted versus fixed. But nonetheless, can't you fault them when you've been pushing 6 to 7% on a fixed ratio? You adjust it and you expose yourself to some of that risk. All right. Let's take a look at Palo Alto, one of the tigers in the den. Okay. You know, I like that volume from February 9th. So when I look at an equity like this, I mean, you're coming into all this selling right here. The cool part about this is you're kind of at a nice critical area, right? This 140 area for Palo Alto, you get some nice support. You had a low back here, the tariff lows of 144.15. Now we've broken below there. Okay, and the problem is that we actually broke that level with volume, right? Pretty remarkable that you can break it with volume. Think about the volume we were doing. 46 million shares, you've broken that with volume. Yikes. On a weekly basis, we've already done 46 million right now. But the one thing I like is if you're in this thing, just don't give it much, man. All right? You got a nice sign of strength out here at 160. You're backing off on lighter volume, but you did just take out this one with volume. And did you take out this one too? You get a low here at 142.01. You did, only 32 million. So you just took out this one with volume, but you do have a nice sign of strength from the beginning of the month, February 9th. And you have a nice little consolidation here. So don't give it much. You trade below 140, 100's like nothing, man, which is remarkable. A little bit feels like catching a falling knife. You get some nice options, volume out there from this acceleration back here in this week. But no real sign just yet. All right, folks, stay tuned. We get the S&Ps up by 34, and we're going to be coming back talking with our man Teddy Kegstad. We'll talk some currencies. We'll talk some commodities. We got the dollar at 97.88. We got the 10-year at about 4.05, folks, and we got equities in the green with the S&Ps up by 35. Stay tuned. Come right back with Teddy, folks.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at direction.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. We got markets in the green. Russell actually rolling over to the red right now. And as we do each and every Wednesday, folks, at 9:40 Eastern Time, we're going to talk to our man Teddy Kegstat. You can head on over to the front page of TFNN, folks. Teddy writes the outstanding Tiger Forex report. He puts out new issues each Monday. Updates throughout the week when warranted. You gain access to a webinar in there. You can subscribe. It's $97, folks. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. And don't forget, under that services tab, 2 great webinars. Teddy's written a book on Japanese candlestick patterns. This webinar, Japanese candlestick pattern stock and option strategies, only $97. You gain access to it, folks. It's right on your account page as many times as you like. You check it out in capitalizing on time with calendar stock option spreads. Teddy Kegstat, good morning.
Good morning, Tommy.
So, where do we go, Teddy? We got the dollar chopping around near 98. We got yields at 4.05, crude a little bit higher. What are you watching in this market, please?
Well, today the only currency that's moving is the U.S. dollar yen. Everything else has been pretty much going sideways for the past couple of days. So I would say probably that's the one everyone in the den probably wants to talk about. So there is quite a bit of fundamentals. Last week they were asking about the bonds and stuff like that over there. And I think really the biggest thing to look at now is pretty much what's going to happen with rates. You know, we're closing in on a Fed meeting for us in 3 weeks. That'll be the last one, before we have the new switch, the transition and stuff. So we'll see what happens with that. If you want to talk about the yen, it's probably right now it's the only one moving today.
No, let's do it, because gold sometimes moves off that, but it's a big factor. You've been talking to us, and I got it up here, man. We almost hit 157 this morning, and as the dollar just kind of chopping around near 98, we got some movement in the yen. What do you think about that action?
Okay, well, so last week when I left you guys, we talked about how, especially with the other currency crosses versus the yen, not the dollar, but the other ones, you're probably going to see some really good volatility. And I think you will now, because now there's a lot of clarity as far as central bank action. Like the way it looks like, the Bank of Japan is very likely to raise a quarter point, pretty much because of the new prime minister and stuff like that. So that pressure is there. Okay, so that's, I would say, if you want to put it on an odds basis, that it's at the very least 70 to close to 75% chance that that's going to happen within probably the next 8 months. Okay, so that's a pretty big deal when you think about when it comes to the BOJ. They don't do anything very quickly, right? So that's a good lean right there. So that'll give the yen some strength versus the dollar. Now, as far as the dollar, we're looking at maybe, I would say, when we had the new Fed chairman, probably will get a 0.5 point cut between now and the end of the year. I think that's a pretty rational expectation. Could it be more? I think it should be. What I think is different than what I believe is going to happen, okay? And I believe that you'll have that. So that disparity right there, you're looking at 0.75 of a point differential between the U.S. dollar and the yen, okay? So that's a big deal. Now, the ECB is likely to raise probably 0.25 to 0.5 over the next 8 to 12 months. So that cross between the yen may be pretty much a flat line, not so much trending over the next 8 months. So that one I'd be careful with. But definitely that disparity between the U.S. dollar-yen relationship, we should see some really good action where that interest rate differential is going to be big for the yen. Okay, so let's just say that crude stays static. Okay, let's just throw that one out the door for right now. Let's be neutral on that. With this case, that means that the U.S. dollar yen should be getting pretty toppy soon. So for bulls out there that are thinking that it's going to, now could it take out the high of around, just short of 160 a month and a half ago, 2 months ago? Could it pressure that high? Absolutely. I could see it spiking there, perhaps, and that would be especially if you start to see yields pressure, if bond and 30-year and 10-year prices go down, yields start to go up a little bit. In that kind of situation, you may see that. But outside of that, if we have any sell-off in yields, meaning that, especially like I heard you were talking about, mortgage rates are now at the lowest they've been, in a few months or what have you. Yeah. Should that trend continue, then there's every reason to think that we're pretty much pressuring the top of the range for the U.S. dollar yen, and we should be falling back to the median, meaning we should go back to around that 155, below 155, pressuring 152 soon, if that makes any sense. So I think that you have to be mindful that we could be in a range trade yet for another 2 months until we have a new Fed chairman. Okay. Sure. Now, as long as if the BOJ doesn't make a move and our Fed doesn't make a move, then we're in a range trade. Okay. So it really is when does that interest rate start to pull? Because now like I said, overall you should have a 0.75 point disparity from where we are right now. So that's a big. Just if that relationship was to occur, the yen would be back below probably 140. Okay, does that make sense? As far as
it's great. I love how you're breaking it down, man. And you got one of them is going to be hiking and one's going to be cutting, right? And you better believe that's going to be an impact if that's how it plays out. But that's how it kind of looks like. So it's going to play out at least. And we're in a little waiting game until we get our new Fed chair, and we'll see what happens in Japan. I had the chart up here when you were looking at it, and so we have that high up there from January. Let's see, 159.44. Pretty cool that you back it up a year ago. It's right at that high too. The high from January 25 was almost at 159, 158.87. So maybe you got a drift up there, but I like the technical area in terms of where you're pushing, man, and you got a upside. Technical area, highs this year, highs last year, and even if you look at where you were in 24, kind of similar area in terms of where that thing topped out. You mentioned crude, and we don't know what's going to happen. I love how you lay out the scenario. If this happens, if that happens, it's the same way I like to think about things. We don't know certainties. What's the possible scenarios? But what do you think about crude in terms of, we got a little bit of a lift here. Seems like tensions are, not as high as they could be. Nothing's happened yet, but tensions ratcheting up. What do you think about crude sitting at these kind of lofty prices compared to where we've been?
Sure. So let me just pull this chart up real quick. Monday we probed some new highs. I think right now it's very toppy. I don't think there's I think you have more bang for your buck playing the short side right now. It doesn't seem like it wants to give. It's in a sideways mode right now, which a lot of markets are. I mean, think about it. All the major Forex pairs except for the U.S. dollar yen have been going sideways for 3 days now. So crude's been pretty much going. I mean, if you look at it, today is slightly outside to the low of yesterday, but yesterday was an inside day. And Monday was an outside day it was up on the day or positive for where it opened on the day, but it was down actually from Friday, So if you look at how that chop is, I see maybe a spike through those highs. I would like to be a seller above those highs. I don't think you have very much to the top side, and there's no reason to be, unless there would be an excessive move in yields going higher. I don't see why you would be able to hold, highs up at say $68 or $69. And then once you got to realize once you start getting close to 70, that starts to become a big issue because, 75 is the magic number. That starts to slow things down in the economy, and then the demand for gas starts to go down. So, and that's then the demand for crude as well. So I think that you're probably looking to see it go back down towards 60 over the next couple weeks.
Great insights as always, folks. You heard the great info. Check out the Tiger Forex report right under the newsletter tab. $97 comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Great info. Teddy, thanks so much, man. We appreciate the update. We'll talk to you next week, brother.
Take care.
Take care. Folks, we'll come right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Folks, and we got markets catching a bid. Great segment with Teddy, folks. Check out that Tiger Forex report. Love the way he breaks down those markets, whether you're talking about currencies, commodities. Great insights he puts out every week in that Tiger Forex report. Crude just dropped $1 from when I was getting on the air, right? From 66.30, we're trading at 65.37 right now. Markets the other way. How about it? To the moon, Alice. We got NVIDIA earnings after the bell, and we got the NASDAQ up by 1.2%. We take a look at the heat map. What's red? Not the tech stocks. You got Mickey D's, Home Depot. That's the Dow. Let's jump over to the NASDAQ 100 for a moment. There we go. Look at this, man. We got green everywhere. Micron up by almost 4%. Look at these. Lam up by 4%. AMAT 4%. ASML 3%. CLAC up by 3.5%. AppLovin 4.3%. And Microsoft up by 1.6%. So NVIDIA earnings after the bell. And yeah, We're up by 1.6%. Pretty remarkable. NVIDIA adding almost $75 billion in market cap already today. You're talking about a $4.8 trillion company, folks, is what we're approaching. Now, we're not at highs. You got highs out here hanging at 212. We put this thing on a weekly. All right. Pulling the volume up here. Got a little bit of selling these last, the week of February 2nd, February 9th, a little light market bounce last week, and you can expect some volume this week, and we're pushing the upper boundary of that consolidation that we've been in for a better part of 7 months. And there we are, 195.78 for NVIDIA shares. Look at the Russell lagging right now, only up by 0.25% as we get the NASDAQ pushing higher. The Dow getting way down. Look at Home Depot's off 2.3%. Goldman's up by 1.5. Look at the banks. JP Morgan up by 0.7. Lowe's on their earnings down by $11. Kava, a big winner, up by 21%. And Workday, watch out, folks. Saving itself a little bit. Look at this, Workday, but still down by 4%. Folks, thanks so much for tuning in, spending your morning right here with me in the Morning Market Kickoff. Couldn't appreciate it more. Couldn't do what I do every day without you, folks. Stay tuned. Basil Chapman, he's growling and prowling in the Tiger's Den. He's next. Steve Rhodes at 11. Fast Market at 12. Larry Pesavento live at 1 o'clock. Have a great day, folks. Stay tuned for Basil. It's coming up next. Thanks so much, folks.